because we normally have an intro and all that kind of stuff. But I'm trying out this Restream.io tool today, and yeah, I don't have any of that set up yet. So I had enough time to get like the logo up and some of the basics, but I wanted to at least get a session going today. JT's not able to join me today. He is, I believe, watching a baseball game. So it's that time of year. Starts warming up. Both my boys are in baseball right now. I coach one of them. And that's pretty much every day of the week, Monday through Friday until the first week of July. So we'll try to be on more often, but it's probably going to be a little bit hit and miss as we start getting to the summer and we're all taking different trips and vacations and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to hop on today to go over, well, first off, I want to talk about how we are kind of shifting with the different seasons. You know how different people have different phases or different seasons. We kind of relate our prepping to the different seasons from a weather perspective. So as you saw in today's title, seasonal shifts, gear up for new preps. I wanted to talk more about how with those different seasons should be when you start changing out your preps. So if you've got a get home bag in your vehicle, making sure that you're going through that bag and checking out some of the items that you may have in there. So if you've got clothes, maybe you've got long sleeves, pants, things to keep you warm. Obviously that's not needed anymore because it's summertime, it's blazing hot. So you'll want to make sure you swap those things out. Other things like seasonal maintenance, you start getting into that time of year where you start getting your hoses out. But do things like check your water softener, check your water heater. Maybe you've got to drain it and get all the crap out of the bottom of it. Check your different levels on everything. Check your supplies. So it's a good time of the year. I like it when we shift between winter and spring and all that kind of stuff, just so we can get a better idea on what we have. I can tell you during the wintertime, we like to just use what we have in the house, food-wise. And I don't spend a lot of time going out or prepping more food because it's winter, it's cold. So it gives me time to look at what we have on the shelf, what we need to stock up more on. And I just went through it yesterday, and there is a lot. We went through a lot more food than I was expecting. And so this is a great time of year to go through those kind of items and find out, what did we buy more of this year? What do we need to adjust for next year? So I could tell you right now, one of our big preps that we're working on is getting more meat. So we ordered another half cow, and that's coming a lot sooner than what I thought it was going to be. Last year, I think we got ours in July or August, and this year it's going to be coming in June. So I don't have enough freezer space. We didn't go through our beef fast enough. So I'm working on clearing out some space for that, but I also need to get a new freezer because as I was going through my preps, preparing for the new season, I realized, as we're always talking about redundancies and ways that we can better ourselves and better our homes, I realized that if our freezer goes out, I've got nothing. So if that freezer goes out, I don't have any storage space in my other freezer for it. So I actually went out and bought a new freezer yesterday. So I'm kind of excited about that. I wasn't looking for towards the price tag of it, and I know you can go out and you can get a freezer chest. You could probably find it on Facebook Marketplace and get stuff for cheap, but I wanted something that was going to last a long time, and I wanted something that was going to be a stand, an upright freezer, because I'm tired of having to dig into the freezer chest to try to find the meat that we're looking for. So we splurged a little bit, and I actually put together this Reclaim tools or Restream tool is pretty cool. It's got like this whole you can add your image and link and all that kind of stuff. But I ended up getting a really nice GE garage ready stand-up freezer. Now, normally it's $11.50. I got it for $7.30, but I had a $250 that I needed to spend there, so it ended up working out in my favor. But I'm pretty excited for it. lots more freezer space. At that point, I'll be able to split our freezer and make it so that we're not relying on one freezer, so that if it goes out, I'm not screwed. But that wasn't something I realized until I started going through what we have today. And as I was looking at the rest of this year and if we had enough meat and all that kind of stuff, um, it's not something I was planning on, but that's the point of prepping, right? You're going to look at, as the seasons change, what do you need to focus on for this year? So let's see. We talked about maintenance. We talked about clothing and gear, reviewing your emergency supplies. One other thing I want to talk about for the season is gardening and food preservation. So we are going to be getting more and more into gardening. I know JT has got quite the setup going at his place. And with that, we had a great discussion on water the other day. So one thing I wanted to make everybody aware of, if you haven't heard already, there's a thing called the El Nino that's going to be coming here. Just a quick summary of that. Basically, the waters west of Africa, the Atlantic, the waters are warming up. And when those waters warm up, then you also have a airstream in the Pacific that will actually push a cold draft down into where the lower states are. So long story short, it's going to probably cause some more larger hurricanes this year. There is a guy on YouTube that I highly recommend you take a look at, but it's Ryan Hall, y'all. He does some great content, but he specializes in all that. So I'm not going to be the main person that you want to reach out to ask any of those questions, or I'm not going to be able to give you any good answers for what you're looking for, but go ahead and check him out. He's got some great content on there and be able to kind of inform you more on what the El Nino is. But with that, we realized that we noticed that the temperatures have been really hot lately. There's not a lot of rain. And I know JT just put a lot of time into getting his water containers all in place so that he could gather rain collection for this year to help water his massive garden that he's working on. Well, problem is he's not getting any water. So what do you do in that circumstance? So we had a really good talk about this year. What will that mean for him when it comes to watering his garden? What are some options that he can look into if he doesn't get any rainwater? So I think we're going to talk about that on the next podcast. So hopefully we're able to both get on Thursday and knock that out. But I think that would be a good topic for that day. But yeah, when it comes to gardening and food preservation, my asparagus is in full bloom now. I'm just about ready to start picking all the garlic that I've got, but we started very late this year because we have so many different trips planned, so many different events happening, both boys and baseball. We're just busy, just so busy. And there's not enough time to get all the gardening done that we want to get done. But it hasn't stopped me from getting things done. So all the potatoes that I had on our pool table, we finally got all that offloaded into some cloth gardening containers. So that was pretty nice. They are some big bins. I think they're like 5 or 10 gallon containers. But we were able to finish moving all the dirt out of my third car driveway. So that was nice. Into those bins, get the potatoes in there, and get those moved to the backyard. So we still have a lot coming in this year for food. We still have to go buy tomatoes and cucumbers and all that kind of stuff. I did not get a chance to start my seeds early this year, so that kind of sucks. But I see several of you hopping on. I know it's late, but feel free to drop a comment, say hi. So I just make sure this is working properly. But yeah, so we're going to be working on the gardening a lot more this year. I know Jamie, I think I saw out the window, she was already recording something. So I'm sure there's something on her Facebook already. But we're really excited about it. I know last year we were wanting to do more for jalapenos. And we ended up not getting any jalapenos at all. So I know this year we need to get a lot of jalapenos. And I just want to make everybody aware, it's never too late to start. So if they say, oh, you're supposed to start that in spring, right after Mother's Day, you need to get it in the ground. That's if you want the most optimal growing, you're going to get the most produce during that time frame. Yes. But if you're late, it doesn't matter. You could still get food off of get vegetables and all that kind of stuff. You just won't get as much as you would if you started it early. So we're at the end of May. I'm probably going to be another 2 or 3 weeks before I even start getting anything, which is going to be in the hot of summer. So it's just how are we going to keep things cool to keep things growing. So I'm sure we'll get more videos here, more pictures soon enough. But one of the other items I wanted to call out when it comes to the whole seasonal shift and how we should be preparing is learning new skills. So I can tell you one big thing that I'm working on right now. My boys don't know this yet, and I'm very excited about this. But we are going to be going on a camping trip here 2 weeks. But I am taking the family down to Mammoth Caves, which I'm super excited about. If you've been to Mammoth Caves, if you've been there, let me know. I'd love to know who's been there, what your best memories are from there. But I've gone, I think 2 times minimum. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've been like 3 or 4 times, but I can only remember 2 times solidly. But we're gonna make it like a full survival camping trip. It's not gonna be like full survival in the sense of, they're gonna be sleeping on the ground and they got to make their own food and all that kind of stuff. But I want to use all of our products that we have at home that Dad is always buying. It's I've got a solo stove bonfire style. So that'll be big enough for our whole family. But I'm also going to take one of our little solo stoves and have the boys teach them how to start a fire. I want to tell them how to build up a fire, how to start one with a match, how to start one with a lighter, how to start one with flint and steel, how to start one with whatever. We're going to be doing fishing. So when it comes to that skill, I am a noob when it comes to fishing. My dad used to take me fishing all the time, and I would never catch a fish. I know we went to, hey, there he is. Oh, no worries at all. So JT was just saying that he is, he had his days mixed up. It was a holiday weekend, so we had a long 3-day weekend. Hopefully everybody had a great time. As you could tell, I got some sun. There's my sunglasses tan line if you're watching a video or watching a stream. We went to the Indy 500 this weekend. We do it every year. And it was a great race. There were so many accidents. There were so many. Everybody was safe. Nobody got harmed at all. But man, the amount of accidents and how it came down to the last minute, it was a really, really good race. But anyways, no worries at all. I was telling everybody that we will try to hop on as much as we can, but with it being the summer and vacations and time off and spending time with the family and different events, we may not always be able to do every Tuesday and Thursday like we want to. But so back to my preps. So basically, my dad used to take me fishing, but I never caught anything. I mean, we'd even go to like paid catfish ponds, and I would still never catch anything. So my goal before next week is to learn as much as possible when it comes to fishing. I think I've owned like 1, maybe 2 fishing poles in my life, and they've been garbage. I don't know how to cast it without getting knots in it, or how to undo the knots, or if I do catch a fish, how to get the hook out of its mouth. I don't know anything. And this is where, like, if JT was on tonight, I would pull him in and have a lot of those discussions. But I'm basically going to cram as much knowledge within the next 2 weeks as possible into my brain. But I did go out and I bought a ugly stick fishing rod. I just heard you can't go wrong with the ugly stick. And after doing more and more research, that's what I see from everybody. So I know there's a lot of different brands out there. But I did get this one. This was pretty nice. I'm sure you could get it on Amazon for cheaper and that kind of stuff. But I wanted it then and there. I went to Dick's Sporting Goods, and it was normally $70 for the rod and the reel. But I got it for $60. So I think I saw it on Amazon for like $50, but I don't have to wait for shipping. I have it right then and there. So it was pretty cool. But my goal right now is I've been watching videos probably a good majority of the day during my breaks and whatnot, trying to figure out how to do like bobbers and how to get them all prepped and how to um, basically I'm learning all the aspects so that I could teach my boys, because I don't want them to grow up not knowing how to fish or not be able to catch fish. And that is a great survival skill. But I also want it to be where we're obviously building as many memories as possible. I think this is going to be another one of those great trips that they'll always remember. So we're going to be going into the caves. We're going to do some hiking. We're going to do some fishing. But it's going to be a just 3-day weekend of just chilling out. Watch that guy. I don't know what guy you're talking about, but but yeah. So we're going to be doing a lot of that. My wife is going, and if you all know my wife, she is not a big camping person. She is more of a glamping girl. So if it's an RV or a camper with a queen size bed and heating and air conditioning, then she'll be fine. But so we'll see how she is challenged during this whole camping trip. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I think she's excited about it too. She's starting to look up recipes and what to do on the griddle. I just got this griddle hub top that goes on top of the solo stove. And I'm so stoked to use it because we are going to be doing pancakes and bacon and eggs. And I realized, okay, that's one more scenario on, okay, I've got 2 coolers, but I don't know if they'd last 3 days. And I'm sure I can go out and grab some ice and that kind of stuff. But as I'm getting into those preps, now it's like, well, I could really use a new cooler, or I could really use this. So, anyways, with the whole skill gathering, just think of some things this year that you can focus on that will help better yourself, better your family, and just go after it. So learning those relevant skills for prepping, I mean, whether it's first aid, whether it's wilderness survival, whether it's gardening or food preservation. I know I have 2 or 3 friends that are just getting into gardening for the first time this year, and they're asking me all sorts of questions. And I love answering all the questions, but you got to go out there and you got to start it. You can ask as many questions as you want. I mean, and that used to be my biggest issue, is analysis paralysis. I could spend years just researching everything and acting like I'm going to know everything, so that when the time ever comes, I'll be an expert at it. But it doesn't work that way. You actually have to get your hands dirty and get into it. So that'd be my biggest tip or takeaway from this, is just, if you're going to do gardening, go out there and do something small. You don't have to do an entire field like JT is doing with your tractor and just go all out at one time. Just start with like a tomato plant. See how it grows. You're going to realize a whole bunch of issues, like, why is it not giving me tomatoes? I mean, it's sprouting leaves all over the place, but I'm not getting any tomatoes. Or why are my tomatoes flat on the bottom or turning colors on the bottom? Why are they, whatever the case may be, you're going to run into those issues and you're going to figure out, oh, it's because I need to prune more often, or, oh, it's because I'm not watering enough, or, oh, it's because I'm not doing blank. But so you have to get out there and you have to actually get started. No amount of knowledge is going to help you unless you get your hands on it. So, and then staying informed. So keeping up to date with seasonal weather patterns and any potential natural disasters or events that could impact your area. Great example of that is that El Nino and several other aspects. Look at our weather today. Look at the heat patterns. Look at the solar patterns. I know we've brought that up a lot on our show. That solar flares and EMF and all that kind of stuff, they are ramping up big time. I haven't actually had a chance to watch anything on the Suspicious Observer channel for probably the last week now, but I did see, I think there was another solar flare or something like that coming at us, so I have to go take a look at that. But just stay up to date. You don't tune in onto the news and all that kind of stuff, you're probably not going to get the information you actually need to see. But join some groups, join some, watch our channel, follow us on Discord, and I try to post more stuff out there. Or just ask questions. But just all I'm saying is stay informed on the different weather patterns in your area so that you know how to prep for them. If you're in an area that's prone to tornadoes, and they usually ramp up in the spring or summertime, then you should be ramping up for tornadoes now that it's spring and summertime. So, trying to think of anything else. So just keep in mind that prepping is an ongoing process. So being prepared for each season will help ensure that you're ready for any challenges that may come your way. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to bring up was with the seasonal shifts. That's basically how our season for our stream is going to be happening, our podcast. I think we're going to start doing it where each season is a new season for our podcast. So I don't know if I'll have to discuss this with JT probably a little bit more if we do 4 seasons a year, or if we're going to do it like, spring and summer is one and fall and winter is another. I don't know yet, but so anyways, what else? Anybody in here that wants to know anything specific or hear any certain topics, please feel free to drop a chat. In the meantime, for some of the seasonal shifts that we've been doing around our house. So I talked earlier about how I checked our food storage and how I'm starting to look into what we use more of this year. So I saw that my wife, she went through a lot of our, I'm trying to think of some main items that went through pretty quickly. First off, I found out my wife really likes to bake. I've got the belly to prove it, but I have, I'm glad my prepping has kind of come off onto her, but she has a bunch of cake mixes and we've got more ingredients to do more baking than normal. So as I was stocking the shelves yesterday, I was like, wow, we've got 20 boxes of cake mixes. We're good for a while. But I could see all the areas where like canned goods or pastas or stuff like that we ran out of a lot. So I know one of the big items that we have to go get is stocking up on our pastas and our sauces. We went through a lot of that, but when we did that, I also noticed that our cleaning supplies, I don't buy cleaning supplies that often, but I do know that there's also a lot of shortages happening. So keep an eye on that too when it comes to staying informed. There are a lot of shortages right now. If you just look up 2023 shortages, you'll get a general idea on what's not available out there right now. I think grapes was the latest one that I saw. There's like a national shortage on grapes at the moment. So if you go to buy some and you can't find any, that's probably why. But with there being a lack of fertilizer, with there being a lack of a lot of these items are actually started last year. And it's just how it's progressed over time to where we're at now. But I challenge all of you to actually look out there and see what shortages we're actually experiencing right now so that you can know, okay, we're experiencing shortages on blank, blank, and blank. I should probably go get some of that ahead of time, whatever it may be. So anyways, this wasn't going to be a long stream today because I'm just by myself and I like the cross communication with JT, but I at least wanted to get an episode out there and talk about seasonal shifting. And for the next podcast, we'll hone it in on something specific. I know I really want to talk more about the water collection. As I was getting into my water collection for my garden, because I don't want to keep using my water bill, I realized, man, I have a lot of roof that's not collecting water. So I've got another rain barrel, and I'm going to be adding 2 more IBC totes. But the super El Nino will cause a ton of shortages this summer and fall. Stay tuned for that. Yeah, definitely. And with those shortages, why would you wait? If you know it's going to be coming, you know it's an issue. Well, why continue to wait and let it affect you in a negative way? Just go out there and get some stuff. So, especially while you've got the money now, finances have been getting tighter. I just saw another article about the average costs are expected to go even higher than they were before. So we should see, I can't remember what the exact percentage was. I know it depends on your area, but I think they were seeing like an extra 5 to 7% increase in costs coming from every aspect, whether it be medical versus food versus housing versus that kind of stuff. So I'll have to find that stat and see if I can bring it up on the next stream. But all right, cool. Well, thanks everybody for listening and hopping in today. And looking forward to our next conversation. So have a good night.